Howdy, everyone. Just going to do my checks, make sure everything is going through. Let me know if my audio is too high, too low, if anything like that's happening. Let's see. Okay, cool. Sweet. All right, it looks like it's working. So I'll just kind of get started. And I'm going to, let me just pull up a few things. So, yeah, the purpose of this video or this live stream is to kind of just talk about how I view accessibility, some of my background actually working on government websites, and just overall a lot of like legal issues. I'll even pull up some different lawsuits, all of that type of stuff. So the purpose of this video is going to be to kind of just talk about my frustrations, where I see everything, and then just if anybody's in the chat wants to kind of dive in and help me out on understanding some of this stuff, because let's be honest, this topic is very awkward to talk about, especially as like a web developer. um, so yeah, there's a lot to it. So let's just kind of dive in. So what I'm going to do is I'll just keep dropping in different type of like government websites and that type of things throughout this live stream. And let me first start out and say I used to actually work for FEMA, kind of like a contractor, not like directly. So I wasn't hired by the government. I used to work at a really large engineering firm, and we used to get kind of these weird contracts sometimes with the government. And one of them was actually to do part of the FEMA websites, kind of like a subdomain on the FEMA website. So let me show you what that is. So if you go to the FEMA website, what I used to work on was actually right down here. Um, if you're not familiar with the United States, there's tons of different like government agencies, and they all kind of like link together. And so I used to work on this one right here called ready.gov. So this was kind of like an informational website where it kind of gave, you website. So this is where everything kind of gets complicated, because I've been doing websites since the 90s. So I've been around before accessibility was even a topic. I was around before CSS. So I'm a dinosaur. I've been around forever. So when I was working at the engineering firm, they tasked me to do the websites, which I was fine with. But then all of a sudden, they were like, "Oh, you got to now do accessibility." And this was back in about, I'm pretty bad with time frames, so it's around 2010 would be kind of like my rough estimate. That's when I was just kind of throwing it in here and was just like, make it accessible, make it accessible. But I had no training by any sort of government agency. There was no like oversight. There wasn't like a guy above me to double check that all of my accessibility was correct at the government level. So already the very first time I'm working on it, I'm like, okay, that seems weird. We're supposed to be compliant, pass all these laws, but yet there's no one to like enforce it. Like, what do we? How do you know if stuff is right or not right? So, what I'll do is I'll go through and kind of show you on this website some of the things that I had to really make sure I had to do. They kind of had like a rough list of some things I had to like be compliant with. And the number one thing was definitely the alt images. That was like the number one thing that they were like, you got to make sure you write really descriptive alt tags. So if you like right click right here, I have a little browser extension. And what I've noticed doing some research into this topic, especially on government websites, is some government websites are a lot more compliant than others. So this one, for example, they really wanted you to have really good descriptive alt text. So you can see right here, a plow clearing the street, clearing the road during a snowstorm. So yeah, that's a really good description. Now, where it got really complicated was, I'll show later in this video, the Department of Justice is just completely failing on how you like to display alt tags when it's like a complicated table. So there were cases where um, these web pages are completely different from when I worked on it. So I wanted to kind of just go through and show some stuff like that. Let me see if I have anything in here. So if I right click here, you can see right here, illustration of couple looking at an elevation map. So they have good descriptions right here. Hey, what's up, David? Yeah, I caught a little bit of your video yesterday. Really interesting topic. I'm wondering if I'm going to say some things that might trigger some people who do accessibility, because I have a certain opinions, and I kind of wanted to keep this more at like the legal aspect of it. The false lawsuits, the law firms that go after companies. That's what I really want to target, because that is a topic that a lot of people don't really want to talk about. So I'm here. I'm tired of the fear mongering. I'm tired of it. Like it gets old. So yeah. Sorry. I'm going to be clearing my throat a few times here. All righty. So yeah, that's kind of like a rough background. So like I said, these pages I made, they were all like hand coded HTML pages. I had to do some sort of accessibility scans. Back then, there was only like a couple online tools that really helped you out. But yeah, I was thrown into learning accessibility with no training at the government level. So I'm pretty sure that most government websites and people who are in charge of this stuff is in the same boat that I was. There was no formal training at all. So you would think that at the government level, hey, let's actually like train these people. Instead, I was like subcontracted because I was the web guy, and then the web guy would just do the accessibility. So yeah, that was my very first experience with accessibility, was at that government level. So what I did is this was real easy to do, actually. I just went to multiple government websites and just kind of was very easily able to target major problems. Hey, what's going on, Toby? Yep, you guys are doing great content. Yep, fear is usually a great motivator factor. Yep. Yeah, I watched some of your video yesterday. Yeah, I definitely agree. I like what you said. It either comes from a place of fear or love. I'm tired of the fear. I'm so sick of it. So that's why I'm gonna call out these law firms that doing this, and I came across some really fun stuff. So, all right, let's This made me laugh. Okay, so that's at the FEMA level. FEMA was pretty compliant. They were pretty good overall. So what I'm gonna do is pull up, in my opinion, oh God, I hate this. I'm pulling up the official whitehouse.gov website and take a look at this. The president of our United States does not have an alt tag for his image on the whitehouse.gov website. Like, really? This is what we're doing now? Like, this is why I'm tired. Like, you would think that, okay, if there's one website that needs to be 100% compliant, just make it whitehouse.gov. Like, hire the staff to actually do it correctly. Now, I did do a live stream when Biden first got into office, and whoever that contractor was a lot more compliant than whoever made this garbage website on the Trump website. So what I'm going to do is, this is the accessibility tool I like. It's called Wave. There's a few of them out there. This is my favorite one. So if you don't know, you can go to this website right here, and then they have some browser extensions. So what you do is you kind of go page by page, and it will tell you if there's any errors, contrast, anything like that. So as you can see right here on the official White House website, the main page is missing 4 alt tags. So I mean, this is amateur hour, guys. Like, come on. Why is this allowing to happen? And then this is where my frustration comes. Where's the law firm that's going to sue him? Like, why is that not a topic? Why is it that these law firms are going after the smaller, retail shops? It's because it's an easy cash grab. Like, clearly you can't throw this guy in prison. Like, it just doesn't work in this country right now. You can't throw this guy in prison. So I would love it if a law firm was able to sue and be like, hey, your alt text is missing. You're finally going to jail. Like, that's not going to happen. So yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be covering a lot of accessibility on this channel. We'll see. It's a topic that I know gets a lot of people fired up, but yeah, I thought this was very interesting. So you can see right here, this was the main thing was 4 errors. So the way I like to do it, and I know this is going to be controversial, and what I do is I'll use a tool like Wave, and if I want to make sure that the pages are actually pretty compliant, I make sure that there's no errors, because usually the errors are going to be your alt text, the form fields, that type of stuff. Now, where the controversy with me sticks is with the contrast errors. So let me pull up our website, and I would love to get some of your guys' feedback. So as you can see right here, I have 0 errors on our website, but I have 31 contrast. So a lot of it's because I have this lighter blue on the white, and it kind of all the way down here. So yeah, I would love to get your feedback and just say, oh, look, Barb is here. Yeah. So Barb is she's away. She's in Vegas taking care of her mom right now. So yeah. she's on the other side of the country right now. So yeah, this is where I would love to get more information. So I'm not going to try to take jabs, but does the contrast errors really matter? And what I mean by that is, yes, there's a lot of different ways that people have, visually impaired vision. And a great example would be, okay, if someone can only see in black and white, does it matter if I have a blue background with white text? Like there's something like that. And the way I see it too is if you go to major websites, like I went to, of course, you can go to the major ones like Apple. Watch what happens. They fail 100% their contrast errors. So what does that mean? Like, this is where I get very confused. Does the contrast errors matter? Because if that was the case, they would be 100% compliant on that. So the way I see it is, correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't people that have different issues with the contrast, aren't they just using a browser extension or some sort of software that will do it for them? Does it fall on the web developer to take all of your text and make sure it's 100% compliant with the low contrast? Because from what I'm seeing, and I'll pull up a bunch of other websites, it doesn't matter. Like you could see Apple doesn't do it. Most government websites, if I start poking around here on the White House website, you're going to start seeing contrast errors. So yeah, that's something that I would love to get more information on. Alrighty, let's see. So yeah, that was the let me pull up I'm just gonna I just like randomly pulled up different government websites. So here's FBI, and you could see they have 6 errors, 1 contrast. Same thing, they're missing some alt text and empty headers. Like these are simple things to fix. So the fact that FBI.com or .gov is failing that's very telling. Like the stuff doesn't really matter, because it matters, of course, if you need to make sure things are accessible, but like, what's happening? I think low contrast generally makes things harder to read. Okay, that's good. I wasn't sure how you were going to feel about that one. Yeah, because if you have, like with our contrasting, for example, I would have to go to our website and change all of our blue backgrounds to like we have like a darker like black. It's not full black. It's 3333. I would have, unless your brand, if you think about this stuff at a branding level, you're going to have to do it right at the beginning and think about accessibilities. But so there's tons of companies who can't change their whole entire website branding to match up to make sure they score 100% on accessibility. Like that's the accessibility, or the contrast is a big one for me, where, like I said, when I worked at the government agency, it never even came up. And I'll pull up later in the lawsuit with Domino's, it wasn't even a factor at all. Yeah, mainly due to the text and gradient image backgrounds. Automated tools can't test that. Yeah. So that's a topic I guess I'll kind of just jump into right now. Is I definitely have heard over and over again by different companies that are accessibility professionals, and they will manually, do your website. They'll manually go through, and I don't know why YouTuber thinks I still watch. Yeah. Sorry, I got ads on this. I gotta make a living here. I think I enabled monetization, but all right. So yeah, the issue I have is I keep hearing more and more how these accessibility companies that you would hire, large figures, thousands of dollars a month in some cases, to make your website compliant. They love to say that these scanners like Wave are only covering about 30% or so of all of the errors that happen on your website. But the thing that drives me crazy is, okay, I'm a developer. I want to learn. what is this magically other 70% of things that these tools can't pick up? So I understand, like, for example, I understand that if you have an alt text and it's just like image 5462555, it's not a real descriptive alt text. I understand that that is like a manual thing, but I'm getting really tired of a lot of people who are hiring out, to hire out for a service. They're like, oh no, these scanners are garbage. Don't rely on them. Hire us instead. We'll take care of that extra 70%. Like, I'm going to call BS and say that these scanners are at this time able to read the code and get through a lot of these accessibility things at a much higher percentage than 30%. I'm thinking it's more like 80%. And like I said, these people who do come up with these numbers, there's nothing to back it up. So of course you can say, oh yeah, this scanner wave is garbage. It only picks up about 20%, but hire me, I'll do the other 80%. So you can see I'm a little frustrated with this topic. It's getting old. Like, I'm getting tired of these companies just trying to take advantage of small business owners, people who are getting these big scary law firm lawsuits saying, oh, you got to be compliant. So I'm definitely going to cover that later in this. So here's a great one. The Department of Justice is actually responsible for going after some accessibility issues. And watch what happens when you go to justice.gov. They have 10 contrast errors. Now, this is where I love this one right here. If you look down here, see this chart? This is what I used to have to deal with on the FEMA website. I would have really complicated charts like this. And at the time, this wasn't, back in 2010 or maybe even earlier, this was not going to be easy to like take all that text and make it into like real HTML blocks and all of that. It's a little bit easier nowadays. So instead, I would have these really long tables like this. And I was told, oh, you have to make sure that your alt text has every single one of these words in here, all the, attorney generals. It has to say that in there. But you could see they just put DOJ organization chart. Now, this is what I love is when you click on this made me laugh. So they have this all separated out, and you would think that this is like separated out in, let me see what they actually have here. Are they using like image maps? Because this is actually an image, believe it or not. This is one really big image, and they're using, it looks like, I haven't really looked at this code, but yeah, I think that they're just doing, these little like hot spots all over it. And so this 100% fails, like 83 errors on the justice.gov website. And they're all alt text. So every single one of these, and as you can see when you shrink down the page, this doesn't work. So the navigation doesn't work. When you start tabbing, this is a disaster. Like, this is our government websites right here. So each one of these, if I turn this off, is actually an image. I do not know how this even got approved. Like, you can see right here, there's no alt text on every single one of these. And if you start tabbing through, let's see if it falls apart. It works at that, but if you start to scale down the website, does it stay? Yeah, so it kind of stays. So they have some of their tabs working, but yeah, I just wanted to show that how you could get something like the Department of Justice and even they're not compliant whatsoever. Okay, so what do we do instead? So that's kind of where I wanted to talk about, like, maybe what some better steps would be. And another thing I'm noticing is a lot of these government websites don't have an accessibility statement. This one does, but if you go into it and you start to poke around, a lot of these other websites that they have that are pointing to it completely fall apart. And let me show you. One of them is right here. So what I like to do is go to Wave, make sure the website, if you can, make sure there's like no errors during that scan. Add an accessibility statement. We have one on our website. Let me show you what ours looks like. Ours is very simple. And I even put that we're not 100% compliant, because clearly you can never be like 100% compliant. That's kind of the whole purpose I want to make this video, and just kind of talk about how no matter what, no website's going to ever be 100% compliant. So you can see right here, we just put that we're partially compliant. And then this right here, we've had this up for about 3 or 4 years. Here's our phone number. Email us. We respond in a few days. Guess how many people have ever used this form? Zero. We've had zero people on our website. And I do this for a few other clients too. So if a client wants to make sure that they're accessible, I'll go through, make sure there's no errors. Contrast, I tell clients if they want to make sure that they have no contrast errors, we can do that, but your website might look completely different. So most of the time they're fine with that. And then I just will put up an accessibility statement. Now, this accessibility statement made me laugh because this is literally talking about an accessibility statement. And let me see, let me see. One of them made me laugh so much. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. It was right here. If you go here, they say, yeah, right here, go to this website and then watch what happens. We're still on a Gov website. The Code of Federal Regulations has 22 errors, and these are the easiest things to fix. We're thinking, what are we missing? We're missing form labels, empty buttons, broken ARIA menu. Like, what is going on? I'm seeing a trend. I'm seeing this trend of this is all BS. Like, a lot of this is just noise. Like, these people saying that they're going to be accessible and then they do this crap. So yeah, that's fun. So let's pull up a website that's brand new, the Doge website. You would think that this is like a month old. You would think that this would be compliant. No, 47 errors, empty links. Like, this is so funny. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up some lawsuits now. So this is what is kind of the fun part, and I kind of went down a little rabbit hole, and I was like, this is kind of fun. I've this has been on my mind a lot lately, and that is all of these lawsuits. Like, are they on the decline? Are they still coming after business owners? And it's actually good news is that I think that some of these judges are finally waking up and seeing that most of these are just cash grabs. Like 99% of these lawsuits are just going to be cash grabs from different law firms. So this website's pretty cool. It is just accessibility.com, and you go up under here and you go to digital lawsuits. So this is all of the lawsuits. I want to say they're probably just United States. So of course I know that I like how, oh yeah, the Doge website is, yeah. Doesn't that look cool? That looks so cool, doesn't it? And this is like an official, I love how they're like, it's an official website right here. This is bad. Like when you go here, you could see, well, first of all, actually, I was here yesterday. This is all new. This, I think the feed on X. So of course you got Musk who's doing this crap where you got to make sure everything's linking to X. And yeah, there's a lot of controversy over if these numbers, of course, are real or not. But yeah, this is a pretty bad website, and this is like a month old. So you would think that they would make sure things are accessible. Doge. They just have Doge. All right, so yeah, if we go back into the lawsuits, yeah, I know. Well, what I think is so funny is, you know what? Let me go back to the Doge website. I think that well, the new. Let me see what it's built on. I think it's just like APIs and a whole bunch of. It's probably just custom code. It's not like WordPress or anything. Yeah. Oh, the God, I forgot this is all you pulling in Twitter crap. But yeah, I think it's interesting how the company who did the whitehouse.gov website. So every time there's a new president, they hire out and they do a new firm. The firm who did the last one, Biden, that website, they were much better than whoever made this WordPress website on the official whitehouse.gov website. It's bad. Like, I don't know who the hell they hired, but it's a disaster. Okay, so yeah, all right. I'll stay on track. So yeah, if we go back into the lawsuit, you can see right here, this website's really cool. It goes into each lawsuit that's happening. They're a little bit delayed, of course. So this was like January 31st, and what is today, the February 21st. So yeah, you could see that they're just kind of just some generic information about who filed the lawsuit, the website, all of that. So if we just like go to this website, if I go here and I click here, so they got 65 errors. the form labels, that type of stuff. This is all just like basic stuff. That's not hard to figure out. So yeah, what I've learned is when you start to look around, look at this, Leo Walker, Leo Walker. You're going to see that there's people who are just filing these lawsuits in bulk. And here's an interesting fact is, let me see here. Oh, right. Let's see. All for any kind of web development, anyone who uses it is lazy. Don't want to really learn how to do actual websites. All right. Yeah, that's your opinion. So I'm like, whatever. It kicks out HTML at the end of the day. We use WordPress. If WordPress sucks so much, why does so many big websites use it? I don't know. Okay, that's cool. To be fair, Trump has never been known to cure. Yes. Whew. All right. So yeah, what I did is you could download this 2024 lawsuit right here, and I like this because this is going to do is show you the trend. So this is all of 2024, and I'll just kind of go through a little bit of this. So you could see that most of them are going to be targeting like retail shops, and New York had the state with the most. This is the law firm I'll probably pull up later. You can see right here. This is what I want to show. So you could see that a lot of these trolls, it's on the decline. So what I'm hoping is that the judges are finally starting to just pull this crap out of course cases and just being able to say, hey, you know what? You're full of shit, basically. Like, I think the judges are finally waking up, or there's just less trolls trying to get these cash grabs, So this is a good trend. I was expecting when I did a little bit of this research that this was actually going to be spiking up, but you could see, I mean, it's half of what it was in 2023. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Like, who cares, dude? Like, really? I could hand code a website and make it the best website in the world. Does it matter? Like, come on. It's HTML. WordPress kicks out HTML and CSS, and I could give it to a client and train them how to do updates to their website. That's why I built on WordPress, because I hand it off to clients. Like, I don't I don't care anymore. All right, so you can see right here, this is the different targeted industries. So apparel, we got food, beverage, retail, consumer services. So yeah, if you're running a consumer service, these law firms, they're going to go after companies that are big, like the Domino's, that type of stuff. They care about people that they can easily just settle outside of court, and they just want to settle. They don't actually care about your website being accessible at all, because their websites aren't accessible. So I'll pull up that law firm in a little bit, but you can see right here, I love that they out some of these law firms and these people. So you can see right here, New York has the most, California. I was surprised by Florida and Illinois, actually. I was very surprised, but Florida is actually on the decline. This is what they're saying right here. Pennsylvania. So definitely New York and California. Those are where the greediest lawyers are in our country. Fun fact is New York, when I was really big into Bitcoin a long time ago, I remember there was law firms that wanted to try to ban Bitcoin in New York. I was like, what the hell? Do you not understand how the internet works? Like, I can't with these people. I'm like, these law firms, I'm just getting so tired. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm tired of these greedy lawsuits, these cash grabs. And honestly, there's a lot of companies who are riding on the backs of this. So a lot of these like accessibility overlay companies, they're just riding on this, thinking that they're gonna scare the crap out of you and say, oh, you're gonna get lawsuits unless you install our overlay, and we're gonna be compliant. All right, so what is this? It's going to be very difficult for web designers to keep. Do you plan to release more accessibility? No, I don't really plan on touching this topic too much. I just kind of wanted to make this might be a one and done for me, because I don't know. I like accessibility. I want to make sure websites are compliant, but I'm seeing a pattern here. I'm seeing a pattern of nobody's websites are 100% compliant. So this is where it gets so confusing to me. Okay, so if my website is 100% compliant on every single page, but I miss one alt text or my alt text isn't descriptive enough, am I going to get sued now? Is a law firm going to be like, oh, no, your alt text didn't describe a woman with long hair? You're going to get sued. Like that's yeah. The lawyers have to make money. So yeah, yeah. They're in it to make the money, but then their websites are compliant. So I would love to be able to start out in these companies a lot more. So let's do that right now. So you can see her here. These are the people who, oh, look, this woman, Jessica, she has 56 complaints and she did 56 lawsuits. So yeah, that's not a cash grab. So let's pull up, let me see if I can pull that up real quick. I'm losing track of where I'm at here. Okay. So yeah, that law firm, this I opened up a little can of worms on this one. This was a fun. Okay, so let's go here. Oh. This is something I've been wanting to do actually for a while, is just kind of have fun and just start calling out these law firms that do this crap, because this is bad. So this is the law firm that right here had the most cases in 2024. So they're in New York. They had 268 lawsuits for accessibility issues on websites. So here it is right here. Now, okay, they're going to be 100% compliant, right? Like they have to be, or what they're doing is complete bullshit. Okay. Oh my God, look what happens when I hit wave. Oh my God, they have contrast errors. So that's it. You're sued. Like this makes me laugh so much. And if you look right here, let me go back into their website and look what they got down here. Oh, what's this? They have the overlay right here. So this overlay is, yeah, right here. Part of the problem is that there's no law firms that would consider accessible. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So I did dig it. When you dig deeper into that, the Title 3. Let me see. I might have it up here. Hold on. Let me see if I have that. I think maybe in the next section I talk about that. But basically, when you're a retail shop, you have to be accessible. In this country, we do take that a lot. We take that very serious. Like we make sure we have ramps, the handles are correct. There's a lot of things that you do in person that this country did right. That doesn't translate to websites because code is just code. Like there's not, because code's not compliant, does that mean you can't buy something? No. Like if the alt text is wrong, can I not buy something from your shop? No. So yeah, I think the only lawsuits that really hold up are those when an individual genuinely lost money or business due to lack. Yeah, that's true. I think what's interesting is the Domino's case. I'll pull that up in a minute. But yeah, I just wanted to definitely say when I was doing these wave, when I do wave here, sometimes I like it. Oh yeah, let me see where. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that. So no errors were detected when you have that panel open. Somehow it like tricks their system. So anyways, I had a thing where it's not working now, but I went to a website that had one of these overlays, and Wave warned you that basically said, hey, just because there's an overlay, it said it like right here, that it might not be compliant. Like it might be kind of tricking the system, and that they could do that. I know from what I hear, a lot of times people who do have screen readers and all of those things, they know which overlays are garbage, and they just block them. So a lot of times somebody who does really have accessibility, they know which ones are garbage, and this is the biggest one right here, accessibility. So yeah, this one, don't ever install this type of crap on your website. Like this is bad. Actually, I think, let me see if I go to Wave on their website. It's like this whole inception. Let me run a scan on that. It takes a minute for some reason on this one to go through, because I think that they might have some sort of weird code, or this website was very bloated. You could see right here. Yeah, let me see. I don't know. I can't figure out which one it was, but either way, it don't ever use these services, because this is just hiding the fact that it's trying to do something. And I don't know. I was playing around with this. Like I found this one very odd. Like this cognitive. Where was it? There was one of them that it had like a little ADHD. Yeah, this one. I found this one very odd. So it doesn't like work well. And I was like, is this? I don't know enough about these overlays to make a conclusion, but like this doesn't seem like this would be very helpful for people. Like I would love to just get feedback. Is this helpful for someone? Like I don't know. Like these overlays are nothing but smoke and mirrors, basically. And so, okay, so this is the law firm, right? And what was I going to show here? Oh yeah. So yeah, this law firm, of course, they fail. Let me see if I go to this page. Yeah, they have mainly like contrast errors. These aren't even like loading up, I don't think. But anyways, okay, I found this very interesting. Okay, so this is the company that makes sure, yeah, they're basically create problems for screen readers. Okay, cool, that's interesting. Yeah, I, and from what I understand, there are people who have called them out and have said they just block them. Like all of the ones that they know of, they just block those overlays because they know that it's causing more problems than anything. But I found this very interesting. Is let me see. Yeah, I saw that Elementor's having that. I don't know how I feel about that one. Like Elementor does make it real easy to. They're very good when it comes to accessibility. Like they do make it really well. We do score well because we use Elementor websites. But anyways, this made me laugh. So this is the company that they hired, right? So law firm. This is the law firm that you can call up and say, "Hey, Domino's, I couldn't order a pizza because the alt text was wrong or they're missing a form tag. I need to sue." Okay. This is the company that made their website. This right here, and this is the part I loved right here. You ready for this? So if I scroll down here, they have a bunch of crap in their footer. So they have their overlay here. And of course, when I click this, 59 contrast errors. Oh my God. I thought you were the company that is not supposed to be doing this crap. You care about making things accessible. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? All right, so yeah, the ADHD helps some people focus on aspects of the website they want to focus on, but then it uses. Yeah, I thought that was very odd. The behavior just felt odd. Like it hovered. I'm like, is that loading some weird JavaScript that then is now causing issues somewhere else? I don't know. It's a bad one. Actually, calls nav menu to stop working with the keyboard. That's interesting. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I mean, the whole purpose of this, I definitely I'm tired. I got to show this. I got so sick of this. I'm so tired. But anyways, okay. So that is showing that they don't know anything about contrast. Like clearly they don't give a shit. Now I found this very interesting. Watch what happens when I view this alt text. Okay, so when I worked at FEMA, I would say, woman working on laptop um, at a desk. That would be fine. Now watch what they do. Okay, they care about accessibility, right? Oh, ADA compliance for my website. Huh. It almost seems like you're using your alt text for SEO. Oh, yeah, that's great. This is the company that's supposed to make your website compliant. And all of a sudden, oh, this is all keyword stuffing bullshit. Oh, how to get my site ADA compliant. But yet it doesn't describe at all what this person is. So somebody who needs to read the alt text can't, because they're spamming this garbage with SEO. What is this one? Best website design. Oh, that's great. Cool. That's awesome. So, do you see what I'm getting at? What are we doing? Like, I'm so confused on what the hell is going on. Like, do people care about accessibility? Like, of course, people. I'm so confused. Like, I would love to see any comments. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So, the the law firm that is supposed to care But that's what the woman is doing, 80 compliance for her website. Yeah. Yeah, on the screen she's doing that. So yeah, I thought that was interesting because when I worked at FEMA, they were like, be real descriptive. But I was like, am I supposed to go here? I think they kind of took it to the extreme. So sometimes I would have to be like, okay, woman working on laptop in black chair, sitting at desk, green plant in back, sunlight coming through window. Like, how far do you take it? And there's no guidelines, of course. And so, yeah, this made me laugh so much when I dug into this law firm, and then the company they hired clearly don't care about accessibility and they just do overlay garbage, and then use SEO to get more business. Like, what is going on? Yeah, keyword stuff. Yeah, I mean, to me, I made a video a while ago talking about alt tags, and I did say, like, if it makes sense, you can add keywords in there, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, I used to be a lot more into SEO, and that used to kind of be like a trick. I don't think it ever worked, but to me, this is like a slap in the face to the accessibility community and like taking this stuff serious. Like, this company, this law firm should care about future lawsuits. And so what I love is they just hired out this company and they're not compliant. So I would love to get in front of a judge and be like, hey, the law firm that is suing me, the company they hired is keyword stuffing and they clearly aren't compliant because, like I said, if I have one contrast error, does that mean I'm 100% out of compliance? So yeah, that's an interesting one. And so um, I'll just pull up another one. Like, Domino's was a good one. Domino's, they had a big lawsuit, and you would think that they would be compliant. Well, guess what? You just kind of quickly go through, oh, 2 errors, 4 contrast, missing form label, 4 low contrast. So let me pull up this right here. This was the lawsuit that happened back in 2022, and I believe they just settled outside of court. And that's probably what happens in most of these cases. Is there's these greedy law firms, which is the one I showed you. They're just going to go out and blanket target tons of companies that just fail, any sort of scan or whatever. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I've talked to other people who are actually like in charge of web servers and work at like data centers. And guess what happens? A lot of these data centers and hosting companies, they actually get tons of these like fake lawsuit, cash grab letters in the mail, because you could just go to anyone's website, see who they are, you can get their address. It used to be a lot easier. And they would just send like hundreds of these bullshit lawsuits to the data centers and be like, hey, all of these websites are out of compliant, not knowing that it's like going to a data center. So it's all just a cash grab. That's all it is. But you can see right here, I like this. They kind of quickly went over it. So lack of alt text. They had empty hyperlinks with no text to identify the link's purpose, redundant links that point to the same URL. So because of this, they had this huge lawsuit and they just settled outside of court. So instead of actually being compliant, they don't give a shit either. So you got sued, you settled, and yet your website isn't compliant. I'm so goddamn confused. I should find one of these to sue, but wait, the website isn't complete. Yeah, and I'm tired of the fear. Like, okay, oh my god, I have contrast errors on my website. I'm gonna get sued. Like, that should not be the case. Like, but this is what's happening. And what I also find interesting is, who does that fall on? And is it the developer? Is it the designer because they branded it non-accessible? Thinking about all of that. Is it on the company? But yeah, if you go down into here, guess what they have now? They have an accessibility statement, and it's kind of bullshit. Let me see, where was it? I can't even find it. Oh, way down here. So they have, where was it? Oh yeah, right down here. Way on the bottom, they have this little accessibility policy. So basically, they're just kind of saying, oh yeah, we care about accessibility. Here's our IT, kind of pass the blame on them. That's kind of where they're at. But yeah, I would love to know, do people who actually have issues will they go to these policies and like contact someone? Because I actually called up one of the government ones and it just went straight to a voicemail. Um, so I don't. It's not like someone's gonna pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, what's your problem? I'll help you." You know, right now, like you're probably, especially at the government level, you're gonna get the runaround. Your website's probably your complaint is just gonna get fall on deaf ears, and then they're just gonna get sued. You know, I don't know, but okay, so yeah, that's kind of just me ranting. I just wanted to kind of rant. I wanted to just kind of figure out where we're at now because when you come across all of these law firms right here, like this is not good. It is usually the website that gets sued, then those in turn sue their web developers. Yeah, but I would love to go in front of a judge and like show him this live stream and just be like, look, the law firm that is suing the websites aren't compliant, and the website that made it for them is not compliant. So, yeah, this is a really good report, and it gives you a lot more information here. Let me close this down. And I definitely see that they are targeting mainly California, New York. Those are the big ones. Um, yeah, there was this other lawsuit, accessibility. Okay, yeah, that's the website right here. So yeah, you can go here, and these are like the latest cases right here, which it's kind of fun to just go in here and be like, like how bad is this actually? Like, is it actually preventing someone from buying something? And probably not. Like, they got sued because their homepage has one broken ARIA reference. Like, what? That's so funny. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna start wrapping this up because it's a bigger topic and I don't know. I don't know I don't know what we do from here. Like I'm very confused. As you can see, I wanted to make this and just show that I'm seeing a lot of BS. And I think the two things that are really upsetting me about everything is this type of crap where you have these overlays. This company is just profiting so much off of, they want $1,500 a year, $4,000 a year. Oh my God. I didn't even look at this. This is bad. So because of how many website visits you get, you have to pay a premium. Oh my God. See, when you see crap like this is just 100% garbage. Like this is criminal. This is bad. I didn't even look at the pricing on this crap, how expensive this is. And guess what? They're not going to be there when you get those letters or anything like that. Like they're not going to have your back. They're not going to go to court with you and do all this bullshit. So my recommendation, like I said, what I've been doing for years is just going through, making sure there's no major errors, it's pretty simple to do. Honestly, it's not that hard. And then if people have concerns, then that's when you have accessibility and you have your statement. Yeah. I heard some screeners first search for a website that is accessible. Okay, that's cool to know. That's awesome because I never even heard of that. I've been trying to keep up with this topic, and I was just like, okay, I think this is what I got to do. But I like that now that I understand. I want to actually learn more about this stuff. But yeah, I just tired of this crap where you got the all the different plugins coming out. And like I said, the thing that's really ticking me off lately is a lot of these professionals that you hire out, they magically are going to fix that 70% of what Wave can't figure out. But I call BS on that and say that I think Wave is doing a lot more than the 30% that they claim. So should we add a clause in our contract to ensure that we have no liability after website handle? I mean, what I've done is I've said, because I've had a few clients where they wanted to make sure that their websites were accessible. I put the statement on there, and then I handed it off and said, on this day, February 21st, there was no errors. So when I did work on government websites, I used to document, okay, I ran the scan. I made sure on this date there was nothing that was out of whack. There was no major errors. Now, you could put in the clause, say, hey, after this date, especially if you hand off the website and they're updating it, say you're responsible for any future updates. But as of, you want to, anything like that, you want to like timestamp it and be like, okay, on this date, it was officially like, done. But that's the other problem too with this stuff is like this stuff is always changing. HTML code's changing. Everything is changing. So I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to recommend people anymore because I don't know what is shadier in my opinion. Is it these greedy lawyers, or is it the people who are creating these plugins like this crap? Like I don't know who's worse. They're both at the end of the day, they don't care about compliance. They care about money. Because if they actually cared about money, or if they only cared about accessibility, they would do some sort of nonprofit. They would do something where it's actually giving back. So I feel bad for people who do have to deal with, a lot of issues on websites because I'm like, I don't know. It's a tough road to navigate. And another thing too is like here in the United States, we have our own weird set of laws, and then I know in the EU, that's like a whole other category. Like that's messy too. Like if I have website visitors in other countries, if I have somebody in the EU going to my website and I have one error, am I now going to get sued by the UK government? It's a mess. I know that it only kind of it only works if it's a certain size website, and then that's weird too. Like who made that law? Like, anyways, it's all kind of weird, and I don't know where to go from here. But yeah, let me know if in the future you do want to maybe go over more accessibility stuff. I have a lot of examples working at the government, but yeah, at the end of the day, like I said, I was just like throwing into this 15 years ago and was just like learn it, and I was like, cool, I guess I'll learn this, even though I don't know what the heck I'm doing at the time. Yeah, no one's perfect. We should try to make. Yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at. Yeah, and what I like is it should be on the tools. Like it should be on the WordPresses and the Elementors because you only have to do it once. So if you get a builder that's done right, they're take 90% of the accessibility because if I hand code this stuff, I would have to make sure all the labels work and ARIA labels are all there, all that kind of technical stuff. Whereas an Elementor, a WordPress, they could just do it one time, keep up with it. So yeah. Let's see. A lawyer also mentioned that every state in the U.S. also has different opinion. Yeah, that's the thing about the United States is it is at the state level. So during COVID, we learned that real quick because a lot of people thought that our government worked at more of a federal level, but no, it's state by state. It could even be like city by city too. So where this falls apart to me is kind of like I was saying earlier is there was greedy lawyers back in the day that wanted to ban Bitcoin in New York, but I was like, what? How do you ban Bitcoin? That doesn't have a boundary. It doesn't make any goddamn sense. Yeah. Alrighty. I'm just gonna head off. So yeah, let me know in the description or in the comments below if there's anything else you want me to cover. If you want, I think honestly, going to these law firms and kind of poking at them. This is kind of fun because they hired this company. I just thought that was so much fun. It's like they don't care. They care about money.